Had to get the train from Potsdamer Platz. You never knew that I could do that. Just walking the dead. Sitting in the jungle on Nürnbergstrasse, a man lost in time near Cataway, just walking the dead. Where are we now? Where are we now? The moment you know who you know. 20,000 people crossroads from Brugge, fingers across just in case, walking the dead. Where are we now? Where are we now? The moment you know, you know, you know. As long as there's sun, as long as there's sun, as long as there's rain, as long as there's rain, as long as there's fire, as long as there's fire, as long as there's me, as long as there's you. Where are we now? Where are we now? The moment you know, you know, you know.
Good morning, and welcome, friends. I am Katie McQuaige-Lucas, ministerial intern here, and my pronouns are she and hers. Welcome to this space and this time, where we will sing together and pray together. In a world of uncertainty, come and let us be in community with one another. Come in to this place and time that we build together, to this place and time of connection, to this place and time of worship.
In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek.
We are Unitarian Universalists, the church of the open mind, the loving heart, and helping hands.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our virtual service today on this beautiful November morning. I'm so happy that you've chosen to spend some time with us this morning, and I'm so grateful that we have this way to connect and worship together in this very challenging time that we find ourselves in. My name is Dee Dee Rowe, and I'm a member of the worship arts team here at UUCR. My pronouns are she and her. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading is a growing regional church, serving communities mostly north of Boston and our mission statement declares that the UU Church of Reading is a welcoming place to nurture and explore individual spirituality, to build a committed and loving community, and to heal the world. I want to welcome you here in this virtual space today. We are a vibrant and spiritual community, and we welcome people of all ages, religious backgrounds and beliefs, cultural backgrounds, differing abilities, political views, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Some of us are bringing our best selves to this place today, and some of us are bringing our struggling selves. Please know that all of us are welcome here and all of us are loved. Some of us have already come here with open hearts, and some of us aren't quite there yet because our hearts have gotten a little beat up this week or this year. Your heart is welcome here, no matter how bruised. You belong here, and we welcome you among us. If you're watching this live on Sunday morning, there will be a virtual social hour immediately after the service today. It's a great time to connect and check in with one another. You can find the link for the Zoom get-together in the weekly newsletter. Finally, I again want to say welcome. You absolutely belong here today, and I, for one, am so glad you've joined us. Now let's sit back, take a deep breath together. Feel each other's presence and love, even from a distance, and focus our thoughts and minds as we begin our service with one another.
Our opening hymn for November will be Sanctuary. It's a song that's not in our hymnals, but we've sung it quite a few times in our own sanctuary when we were together at church. It has a beautiful and simple melody, and the words are ones of gratitude and care. They are, "Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew." Join in singing or humming or just listening, whatever's comfortable. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy, loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew. Sing it one more time. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew.
Good morning. I'm Sally Lieberman, and my pronouns are she and her. Thank you, Margaret, for lighting our chalice this morning. Thank you, Emily, for leading our children's affirmation. I'm recording this on Friday, during the week of our presidential election. And right now, I don't know who the presidential winner was. We may know on Sunday when we're watching this together on YouTube. I hope so. There's been an election, and there's been a vote, and some people were really excited about this election. Some people were really anxious. That might be true for people that you know and love, people that live in your house, people in your neighborhood. So it's important for all of us to take a deep breath, maybe shake out any feelings of weirdness or anxiety or just itchiness. Like, just shake. Let's just kind of get ourselves relaxed. and take a breath. And remember that when we come together, we are people of open mind and loving hearts and helping hands, just as Emily reminded us. When things are uncertain, when we're anxious, when there's a whole lot of activity going on and we get really kind of wiggly and stressed, it's really nice to return to something familiar, something that we understand, something that we recognize, something that makes sense. And it's even better if something familiar that we recognize that makes sense is also really good work. We are going to do something just like that together because it's November, and soon we are going to launch our Guest at Your Table program. Remember these boxes? These boxes we take home every Thanksgiving time, and we keep them at home on our tables or on our countertops, somewhere where we can collect money in them to help people who are chosen by our Unitarian Universalist Service Committee as partners who are building community around the world. This year's theme is about home and what home means to different people. In the next week, we will have Zoom rooms where we will learn about Adela, Mark, Chief Sherelle, and Suja. Each people who live either in the United States or in another country, who are challenged to keep their homes or to stay in their homes for different reasons. Guest at Your Table will collect money to help each of those folks and the programs where they live to help them and their neighbors stay safe in their homes or to return home if that's possible. There are stories for us to hear and much for us to learn. Now again, it's the Sunday after the election, and we may have a new president. We are people of open mind, loving hearts, and helping hands. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in living life with purpose. Purpose means a meaning that makes us feel well, makes us feel strong, makes us feel important, and makes us part of something bigger than ourselves. We are Unitarian Universalists, and we are doing Guest at Your Table once again. If we were meeting in person, this would be the Sunday morning after the church fair. Remember when the church fair would take over all the buildings on our beautiful campus, and there would be soup and chowder and incredible snacks made in the kitchen on Saturday, and there would be places for you to shop. You could buy books and toys and candles and all sorts of odd things down in Community Hall. Well, Melissa Martin and Linda Snowdoxer and Martha Moore and Suzanne Sullivan and too many people to name have put together a fair for us online this year. And you can shop for things on there. There are some toys and there are some tasty things too. I miss the fair. I miss not having soup or being in the kitchen and making soup with church friends. And I miss all of the really interesting things on all those tables down in Community Hall. And I miss you too. This has been quite a year, friends, hasn't it? We've been through so much change. Some things remain the same, and that is that we are a church community that gathers around shared values. We are the church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. We have much to learn together and good work to do together. So take a deep breath and get out the wiggles. Come to our Zoom rooms, learn about guests at your table. It's good to be together today. I look forward to seeing you online or maybe from Loring Porch sometime soon.
Good morning, I'm Reverend Hank Peirce. My pronouns are he, him, and his. Will you join me in prayer? You who stretches from everlasting to everlasting, now we wait. We wait with our hearts on the line. We wait with our lives and the lives of our loved ones on the line. We wait with democracy on the line. We wait with honesty, dignity, and kindness on the line. We wait. But we are not sure what it is we are waiting for. Are we waiting for good news or for bad news? And can we tell the difference anymore? I suppose we can. Our moral compasses continue to point in a direction. Now, if only our feet would start to move. Thou, we ask you for wisdom at this time. Because no matter what the news is that we receive, there will be work before us to do. We will need guidance and fortitude to see them through. So bless us with those things and with a little bit of hope. Remind us when our hearts are full of anxiety and anxiousness. Remind us to funnel those feelings into action, to help us make the beloved community into a reality. Amen.
The human spirit is a powerful thing, and we know we can find, even in the depth of despair, belief that goodness will prevail, and that faith is stronger than fear. An enduring testament to this kind of faith can be found in the lyrics of our choral anthem, I Believe. They're drawn from words that were found inscribed on a cellar wall from what once was a Jewish ghetto. The writer gifts us with these powerful words of faith. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe in love, even when I don't feel it. And I believe in God, even when God is silent. May these words give us strength and hope in these challenging times.
I believe in the sun. I believe
Our reading this morning is Prophets of a Future Not Our Own by Bishop Ken Untener in honor of Archbishop Oscar Romero. It helps now and then to step back and take a long view. The kingdom is not only beyond our efforts, it is even beyond our vision. We accomplish in our lifetime only a tiny fraction of the magnificent enterprise that is God's work. Nothing we do is complete, which is a way of saying that the kingdom always lies beyond us. No statement says all that could be said. No prayer fully expresses our faith. No confession brings perfection. No pastoral visit brings wholeness. No program accomplishes the church's mission. No set of goals and objectives includes everything. This is what we are all about. We plant the seeds that one day will grow. We water seeds already planted, knowing that they hold future promise. We lay foundations that will need further development. We provide yeast that produces far beyond our capabilities. We cannot do everything, and there is a sense of liberation in realizing that. This enables us to do something, and do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning, a step along the way, an opportunity for God's grace to enter and do the rest. We may never see the end results, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future not our own.
I had never seen Germany in the snow. It's what I thought as the plane I was in landed in Frankfurt Airport. It was February of 1991, and I was in Europe to work for a band that I've been working with for 6 years. And doing a European tour with them was, well, that's just about the best we could get. The band had started 3 days earlier on tour. I had business to do back here, so I couldn't leave. And now I just had to catch up with them, which seemed easy enough. I was to take a train to Munich and there meet up with someone who was going to drive me to the gig that night. It sounds easy, but of course, if it was easy, I wouldn't be telling you about it now. That snowstorm, well, it delayed the train and the driver, who admitted by the time he finally did show up that there was no way for us to get through the snow to the show anyway. So I spent 2 lovely but snowy days with him at his parents' house. And finally, after speaking with our tour agents in Berlin, I caught a midnight train to Italy, where I was going to meet up with the band. It would be easy, but I had to keep changing trains. And every train I switched to ended up being smaller than the last one, until finally I was on what seemed like the equivalent of the Green Line across the Alps. I arrived in the city of Vittorio Vente at about 7 o'clock at night. And when I stepped off the train, I expected someone from the band to be there waiting for me. That's kind of what I had assumed. That's sort of what I'd gotten from the tour agent. But there was nobody there. So then I thought, well, maybe the club is just right around here in this neighborhood. And I started looking around and I asked someone in the most broken Italian you could ever imagine, Dove punk rock discotheque, which I don't think really means anything. But I thought maybe I was asking where the punk rock club was, but no one knew anything. I started to panic at this point. You know, I had no Italian money. That was still in the days before the euro. I had no lira on me. And if I didn't meet up with a band, well, they would be traveling to Yugoslavia. Once again, a long time ago. They would be traveling to Yugoslavia, and I would have to spend a week in Europe without them before I could finally meet up with them again in Austria. I was in full freak out mode when I tried to call the booking agent in Berlin. But I couldn't reverse the charges. I was wondering if I would have to find a place to sleep on the streets when a group of Italian soldiers walked by. They took pity on me and handed me all of their change. This was, of course, right at the moment of the Gulf War, and they seemed very happy to find an American they could help. I called our agent. I got the address of the club, which was 40 miles away. And then I found a sympathetic taxi driver who drove me to the club. The bill for the taxi cab was something like 168,000 lira, which I'm not really sure how much money that actually was, but I'm pretty sure that every penny that the band made that night was given to the cab driver. So, why am I telling you this story? Well, it's because this is how this past week has felt, hasn't it? Big expectations, disappointments, then just kind of moving ahead, getting lost, and just when you were ready to give up hope, you were saved by some strangers, people you never met. People who probably don't even think of you or I. I wouldn't really call it a roller coaster because roller coasters move fast. It was like taking the Green Line across the Alps. And I want to talk about something that Van Jones, the news commentator, said on Tuesday night. Because something happened that night. I was watching the returns like many of you were. In fact, some of us had a little watch party going on here at church, watching what was going to happen. We started seeing things come in slowly, but it didn't feel quite right. It didn't feel as bad as perhaps it did some years ago, but not quite great. Van Jones said that the reason why we were not feeling great is because we were in fact seeking two victories in this election. A political victory in reclaiming the presidency and a moral repudiation of his administration's cruelty, indecency, immorality, and corruption. Now, at the time that I'm recording this right now, it looks like we're going to have a different president. But seeing so many Americans who continue to vote for a pretty heinous person, well, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Something is deeply not working in America. Over the past 3.5 years, we watched babies being torn from their parents' arms, Black people being shot in their homes and choked on the streets, undocumented people being deported to countries they have never known, women being demeaned and tokenized by national leaders. Our climate continues to warm, and our neighbors are dying from an out-of-control virus. Some of us hope that we as a nation would rise up with one voice to say, no more. We are better than this. We are braver, kinder, more decent than this. But this is not what we saw the other night. But why did we want a moral victory? Was it because we wanted to be right? If so, well, that is the wrong reason. And politics is really the wrong place for us to look for that. Now, I'm not saying that I wasn't above feeling that way. I was pretty bummed out on Tuesday night I was bummed out because there wasn't like a blue tidal wave washing over all those magic screens. But politics are not the place where we should go to get our egos pumped up. Politics are, at best, a tool for justice, but they aren't justice. What did we hope would happen? What did you hope would happen? Maybe you still want to be told that you were right and that they were wrong. Okay, you were right. They were wrong. Now what? Will that change what comes next? The Buddha tells us to let go of those emotions. They are only going to get in the way of us making proper choices. You may feel the need to be right, to have a moral victory. Well, then acknowledge those feelings and let them go. Don't feel good about those feelings. Just acknowledge them and then let them go. And can we talk about those people who voted differently than we did? Maybe you know them, maybe you don't. We wonder why anyone would say to themselves, sure, I'll have 4 more years of that. We wonder why any moral person would vote for someone so immoral, so full of himself, so grandiose, so braggadocious. But that's just it, isn't it? That's just it. People are drawn to characters like President Trump, in part because they can actually see how flawed he really is, and how much he acts out of fear and insecurity, because they realize, maybe only subconsciously, they realize that they too are frightened and insecure. About what? Well, what have you got? Employment issues, marriage issues, health issues, children, God, all the same things that you and I worry about. These are people who have never really experienced privilege. At least they don't understand it as such. And yet they've been sold a bill of good that says that they can achieve wealth because, well, because of who they are and what the color of their skin is. But they haven't really achieved that wealth. That is the same lie. This bill of goods that says that you can achieve wealth and greatness because of the color of your skin, that is the same lie that was told to indentured servants 400 years ago. When wealthy landowners who were running large plantations and farms with the muscle of African slaves and poor white Europeans, when they saw that these two groups outnumbered them and were getting along, they sought to divide them by telling those indentured whites that, you know what, you are more like me, and you can be like me, as long as you realize that you are better than those black slaves. This lie has been told for centuries, and it has been told so much in our country that it is almost part of the DNA of every person who lives in this nation. The problem comes, well, one problem comes when people intellectually know that this is a lie. They intellectually know that it's a lie, and yet it's in their DNA, and that is hard to change. And what happens in that space when things aren't going well is where fear and insecurity arises. They worry that their work will close because they have seen that up close. They worry that their marriages will fail because they have seen that up close. They worry that their health will fail and bankrupt them because they have seen that up close. They worry that their kids won't get a break because they have seen that up close. They worry that God has abandoned them because they have seen that up close. These are people like us who feel isolated and forgotten, who feel powerless, who feel like they want a victory, moral, political, whatever you got. Our reading this morning is known as the Prayer for Oscar Romero, the Catholic bishop who was gunned down by right-wing militias in El Salvador because he preached that Jesus stands always with those people who suffer from poverty, injustice, violence, and hunger. In the reading, it states that it helps now and then to step back and take a long view. The kingdom is not only beyond our efforts, it is also beyond our vision. We accomplish in this lifetime only a tiny fraction of the magnificent enterprise that is God's work. Nothing we do is complete, which is a way of saying that the kingdom always lies beyond us. Maybe by this Sunday morning, we have achieved a political victory. Maybe we've achieved a moral one. Maybe we have achieved even a spiritual victory. And to be honest, I'm not even sure what a spiritual victory is. And then what? And then what? There are still wrongs that need to be righted. There are still people who need us regardless of how they voted. There is still healing that needs to take place for all of us. We are not the first people to live in a broken world that feels like it's teetering on the edge of hell. All of the sacred scriptures from all the world's religions tell stories of authoritarian governments creating movements of new prophets who preach messages of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, and generosity. And when you hear them, take heart and be reminded that the sacred is with us, has always been with us, and will always be with us. And now we wait and watch and hope, and then we will work. And may we never waver from our mission to help heal the world. So much of the justice we have long struggled for is in danger of being dismantled. And so we watch and have watched these election results, and we will continue to heal from the wounds of our injustice and divisions as we march on towards justice. We may never see the end results, the writer mentions. We may never see the end results, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future not our own. Ever and always. Amen.
Our church is supported by all of you in many different ways. Some teach, some bless us with lovely music, and many, many volunteer behind the scenes. And even though most make a yearly or monthly monetary pledge, we've also held a Sunday offering to visually demonstrate our generosity and support. Well, we can't actually pass the plate in our physical church right now, but we can still hold a weekly offering to support the work of our congregation. Since November of 2019, we've been working harder to support the community beyond our walls by giving half of the funds collected each week to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values through an initiative called Share the Plate. It's a simple yet very powerful way for each of us to help heal the world. And happy anniversary to us! It has been 1 year since we began Share the Plate, and even in the midst of a global pandemic, we as a congregation have donated over $12,500 to 11 nonprofit organizations. That is truly awe-inspiring. Our Share the Plate recipient for November is UUSC's Guest at Your Table. Guest at Your Table is an annual fundraising initiative from our Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, UUSC. UUSC works together with an international community of grassroots partners to advance human rights and social justice around the world, and has improved the lives of countless individuals. UUCR has a long history with Guest at Your Table, traditionally launching the fundraiser through our religious education program in November. You may recall Guest at Your Table collection boxes that folks keep at home throughout the holidays as a visible reminder to learn about and support the communities in partnership with UUSC. When we're meeting on campus, children learn about the program in their classes and pass out collection boxes during church. This year, they'll learn about Guest at Your Table online and will join us for Bread Communion Sunday service to introduce the stories of people who will receive support from this year's collections. There are several ways for you to donate. You can write a check and mail it to UUCR at 239 Woburn Street, Reading, Massachusetts 01867. Please remember to write Share the Plate in the memo line if you want your donation to be split 50-50 with Share the Plate. You can donate through your bank's online bill pay feature. Again, if it's possible to include a notation for Share the Plate, your offering will be split 50-50. You can also go to the UUCR website, uureading.org, click on the Donate Now button and choose Share the Plate. You can do this now while we listen to our offertory music or anytime after the service. As always, we recognize that your donation is generously given and it is very gratefully received. Thank you.
I was born by the river in a little tent, and oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's out there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. And I go to the movie, and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh yeah. Then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Ooh, times when I thought I couldn't last that long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. It's a long time coming, but a change is gonna come.
I'm Melissa Martin, your Member Services and Volunteer Coordinator. My pronouns are she and her. All of what I'm sharing with you this morning can be found in our newsletter, with all related links in our resource guide. Our online Kris Kringle Fair is now open, and it will run through the month of November, or until all the items have sold out. So shop early for your homemade holiday gifts, or for those treasured items for yourself. Our Undecorate the Tree Drive also began this past week. During this annual UUCR project, congregants make sure that 60 children under the care of the Department of Children and Families in Wakefield have a happy Christmas by filling their wish lists. There are various ways for you to participate, from sponsoring gifts for an entire family, sponsoring an individual child, buying 1 or 2 gifts, or making a monetary donation. If you're interested in participating, please email undecorate@uureading.org and indicate at what level you would like to help. If you are able to help, please let them know by this Friday, November 13th, so they can ensure that all 60 children will be sponsored. As of today, there are still many children still left to be sponsored. If you have already emailed your sponsorship commitment, please keep an eye on your email for your shopping list confirmation. This week, in addition to our regular offerings, look for Caring Conversations with Pastoral Care on Monday, our Liberal Ladies Gathering on Wednesday, and our November Reading PFLAG meeting on Thursday night. Today, we have our social hour after the premiere of this 10 a.m. service, followed by 2 other offerings for today. The first is at 4 p.m., when we are inviting you to join our Green Sanctuary for their first online gathering. The steering committee has put a lot of energy into creating an informative presentation that can help you move forward in reducing your own carbon footprint. And they encourage you to use your voice to move legislative and corporate actors in the direction of climate change. They also share this message with you. Regardless of the outcome of the election, our voices will be needed more now than ever. There is comfort and hope in our community, and the more of us that participate, the more powerful we are. Please consider joining them later today. The second offering is for all parents or adult loved ones of children. Join our members of our UUCR staff, Sally, Katie, and Linda, for our first parent-caregiver sharing circle this evening at 6:30. Join other adults who are raising, supporting, or caring for children through this pandemic and election year. They'll open with a chalice lighting, a reflection, and a space held for checking in and sharing. Bring your thoughts, your voice, your silence, your presence. You are welcome in this circle of support. Thank you for being a vital part of our congregational life.
Our closing hymn this morning is a lot of fun to sing. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like
As I extinguish this chalice, please say with me our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts. Our reading this morning said that we plant the seeds that one day will grow. As you enter the week ahead, may you find hope in the seeds that were planted before, and may you know that the ones you plant now will be fruitful. There is, as always, a great deal of work to be done, but may you find joy and hope in doing that work together in community. Go in peace and go in love. Amen, and blessed be.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I could make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.